Welcome to Zimbabwe in the News. Today in the news, we saw the Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Kembo Mohadi, opening a stream bridge in Mvurwi. I happen to come from Marsh Central. I know the bridge. It is just a small, narrow bridge. What is baffling is not necessarily about opening the bridge, but it's about the cost of constructing that small stream bridge. According to the Herald, the cost for that stream bridge amounted to 1.8 million US dollars. Yes, you heard me correctly. 1.8 million US dollars. And you can see that this is a continuation of massive looting by those in power under the ED government, under the umbrella new dispensation. You can see that, yes, we have seen the COVID looting, which eventually costed Obadiah Moyo his job, rightly so. But it's not this corruption and mass looting is not concentrated in one department or one ministry alone. This is across every layer of the government. And this actually amplifies the need for the 31st July for all Zimbabweans across all political parties to come together and demand the end of this government. I mean, how can you justify a stream bridge costing 1.8 million in just a rural place? And you can see that there have been some kickbacks and also sharing of the proceeds of looting, hence the ballooning of the correction and the final cost of constructing the bridge. And again, if you look at this government, you would think that after they've looted, they would try to hide their tracks of proceeds of crime. But no, they are so much unashamed. They are actually prepared to go and solemnize sending the vice president to officially open a proceeds of loot, which is quite surprising in this 21st century. You would expect maybe a governor or a mayor or maybe a councillor of the area would actually officiate that bridge. But no, the presidium has got the guts of actually showing you how much looting they have done, which is quite shocking. But it doesn't end there. Last week, we saw the president himself and the entire cabinet officially opening the handover of some plastic buckets. I mean, who would do that? What government in the world would do that? But, this is the ED government, and irrespective of the inflation, the hyperinflation going on in the country, and of late we've seen a sharp rise in the cases of COVID, basically because the government doesn't have resources to contain it, and they've got mixed messages in terms of how they can contain the COVID-19. Not only that, but the whole health system is crumbling. nurses are on strike. They can't pay the health care sector, which is a worry. At this time, you find most of the countries fighting COVID, they're putting much of their resources into their health care sector because this is a global pandemic, and it is important that all resources are directed to both in terms of mitigating against the effects of COVID-19. But you find with this government, their focus is on survival. And this is why you find they are targeting the opposition. And today, scores of civic groups have been arrested, opposition party members arrested. To them, their survival matters most than fighting the pandemic, global pandemic that we face, both as a country, Zimbabwe, and at a global stage as well. So it is very worrying, the direction of politics that is going into Zimbabwe. And last weekend, we saw Nicodemus leads the ED government diverting the Public Finance Act money earmarked to MDC Alliance and then handing them over to MDCT, to Coupe to be specific, who only happen to have only 2 members of parliament against MDC Alliance with 1 or 6 members in parliament. And it's those political maneuvers that we have seen of late coming from the current government that is battling legitimate issues in trying to force a one-party state in the country, using political stooges in that manner to sort of obliterate the opposition party. And we have seen thanks for that, we've seen civic groups, we've seen citizens within the country and opposition parties coming together and putting a sort of a strategy. And this strategy is going to manifest in the 31st July. Massive demonstration to force this government, this corrupt government of ED, out of power, and to demand accountability and to demand that those who have embezzled public funds be made accountable. And I think as Zimbabweans, we have to come together to make sure that that is pronounced live and clear. So yes, I'll be giving you from time to time the main bulletin news that it is coming from Zimbabwe, so that both as Zimbabweans and those outside Zimbabwe take note of the highlights coming from Zimbabwe. And you, I'll also be looking at not only the negatives, but also the positives coming from there. Unfortunately, at the moment, there's nothing positive coming from Zimbabwe. Good night, and thank you.